Well, it's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, I've had this question boiling in my mind for a long time, and I've been wanting to talk about it on video, but now I'm going to talk about it on video, and that subject is, a lot of times I hear boxing fans, when a guy gets hurt, or he gets dropped in only one fight, the label of a fighter being chinny is so easily thrown on said fighter, And I wanted to talk about what makes a chinny fighter. How can we definitively say that a particular fighter is a chinny fighter? Well, I'm gonna tell you guys what I think a chinny fighter is, and I'll give some examples of what I think is a chinny fighter, and then I'll also explain like what's a vulnerable fighter and what's a chinny fighter, because I think they're two different things. So we'll start with what is a chinny fighter. Just in plain English, what is a chinny fighter? A chinny fighter to me is a fighter that doesn't just get dropped one time. I mean, this is someone that has shown time and time again that they have questionable or shaky punch resistance. These are guys that have shown that they're liable to be hit and hurt at any time. And these are guys that when their opponents take the deep, dark, uncomfortable places, they oftentimes wind up folding. So I'll give you three fighters in recent years that I think are chinny. Okay, chinny fighters would classify like obviously Amir Khan, Jorge Linares, and I think even Tony Harrison is chinny, because he's shown that lack of punch resistance many times in his career. And you could even say with a guy like Tony Harrison that his lack of punch resistance is actually the only thing that's kept him from being a better fighter than he is. Because we talk about skill for skill in the 154-pound division, Tony Harrison is like the best fighter, but he just that big glaring deficiency of punch resistance or lack thereof is what's plagued them all these years. So I would say those are three guys that are definitely chinny. Now, guys that are vulnerable, right? Vulnerable. So what this means is they can get hurt, they can get stunned, but they've never shown such a lack of punch resistance that they're losing fights or they're getting knocked out on a consistent basis. So guys that I would consider as vulnerable, guys would be like Keith Thurman. We've seen Keith Thurman get hurt by body shots numerous occasions. Looked like he was going to be in some big trouble, but he found a way to survive and was smart enough to not allow his opponent to show that extra bit of quality and stop him. So he's a vulnerable fighter. He's not chinny, but he's vulnerable. So his fights are going to be exciting. He's going to have a chance to get hurt, but nobody's finished him so far. So he's vulnerable. Even someone like, I think even like George Kambosos. George Kambosos has shown the ability to get hit and hurt and dropped before. So I would say you could classify him in there. Or maybe not really, because it was only Teofimo Lopez that hurt him and dropped him. Everybody else has just landed punches, but nobody's like really hurt the guy. Maybe Mickey Bay knocked him down, but I can't remember right now if he did. I'll have to check on that and see if he did or not. I can't remember right now. But like Keith Thurman is like a vulnerable fighter. Who else is a vulnerable fighter? Tyson Fury. I mean, we've seen him stretched out on the canvas. We've seen guys like Nikolai Furtha hurt him. We've seen guys like Nevin Pajic, who was the Canadian heavyweight champion, drop him. We've seen Tyson Fury in a vulnerable position many times, but nobody's really shown the extra bit of quality to finish him off. So I would say like Keith Thurman, Tyson Fury, those are vulnerable fighters. And then we got fighters who have granite chins. Because guys that when you hit them clean, they either have the uncanny ability to roll the shots, or they just have the granite chins to where like you can hit them flush and it's not gonna do nothing. So guys I would consider in recent memory with granite chins to be guys like Danny Garcia, who to this very day has never been dropped on the canvas once. Granite chin. And guys have hit him square, flush, bang, and it didn't matter. So I would say Danny Garcia, Gennady Golovkin, who was getting freaking punched up by Canelo. Like, there were some counters that Canelo had where like Golovkin was really hit flush and it did nothing. And then I would also say like a guy who was retired but he still fought recent times is Carl Froch. Carl Froch, I'm gonna tell you this. Carl Froch, his chin was the difference between him being a world champion and a superstar in his country for boxing, and him being the domestic level British club fighter, because he wasn't winning. He didn't win a ton of fights in his career just because of skill. he won a lot of fights because of his ability to wear people out, outlast them. He just balls, determination, and as Rick Laser would say, gumption. He just had that gumption to keep going when shit got tough in there. He knew how to hang in there. So, you know, I think boxing fans need to really be very careful by throwing out the word chinny, because there's a lot of vulnerable fighters in boxing, because there's not many great defensive fighters. So a lot of fighters do get hit flush with punches that do hurt them, but that doesn't mean they're chinny. And if a fighter gets dropped on one occasion, that doesn't make him chinny either. To me, to really be a chinny fighter would be a fighter that when he got hit and hurt, he's been dropped. Like a guy who's chinny to me, extremely chinny, is Daniel Jacobs. I mean, he got knocked out cold when he was a prospect against Dimitri Parag. He got dropped by one of the most pillow-punching fighters in his division, Sergio Mora. Yeah, I mean, John Ryder had him buzzed a couple times. This is a guy to me that's shown that he is chinny on more than one occasion. So I would say he's chinny, you know. But yeah, it's fun. I just want to get that off my chest. Like Roman Gonzalez, right? People want. I heard one time somebody tell me that Tito Gonzalez was chinny. I'm like, how is he chinny? He got knocked out cold against Rumba in the rematch, no doubt about it. But even if you get knocked out cold on one occasion, that doesn't make you chinny, because look, before Rong Visaya knocked Cholatito down in the first fight, he hadn't been dropped for like 10 years. Like in all of his fights for like 10 years, he never got dropped. Some guy named, I think his name was like Mesa or something like that, dropped him. Okay, he went 10 years without getting dropped, and then he got dropped against Rong Visaya, and he got knocked out cold against Rong Visaya. But nobody since those fights has dropped him. Since Rong Visaya, Calify didn't drop him, Israel Gonzalez didn't drop him, Gaio Estrada didn't drop him, Julio Cesar Martinez never dropped him. None of those guys dropped him, so therefore he's not chin. He's actually shown. It's actually more of a credit to Rong Visaya and what he's packing with these punches, more so than what is or what isn't of Cholatito's chin. It's actually more of a credit to Rong Visaya, because Cholatito throughout the duration of his career has fought some real high level fighters, and only really Rong Visaya put a dent in him. So he's not chinny at all. But yeah, that's my thing. That's it. There's chinny fighters, there's vulnerable fighters, and then there's fighters with granite chins. Very few are chinny, very few have granite chins. Most fighters tend to be in the middle. But that's my opinion on that. But you guys let me know what you think. Like, who are some fighters that you guys would classify as chinny fighters? Who are some guys that you would classify as vulnerable fighters? And who are some fighters that you guys would classify as fighters with great chins, granite chins? Let me know in the comments. I look forward to reading them. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on True School Sports, the home of boxing. If you made it this far, do me a favor and do yourself a damn favor. Hit that subscribe button, and surely you will not be disappointed. You know, True School Sports bringing you the latest and greatest, the untouchable, boxing content, interviews, news videos, breakdowns, live fight reaction extravaganza. We've got a great community of people here, boxing fans all over the world, from America to the UK to Australia, and on and on and on. So join the empire today. Hit that subscribe button. Take care and God.